there's got to be something that makes the data products happen, right? And I think this is where the modern data stack interacts with the concepts. You know what I mean? There's a way to build this. So what and Tristan, maybe I'll start with you on this. I mean, what aspects of the modern data stack are making data mesh possible? Like what brings these principles to life versus a traditional architecture? Teresa just mentioned that, you probably had data products before, but I mean, what is it about the modern data stack that it enables, I think, maybe a more true implementation of data mesh?
I think that these two concepts are like pretty significantly orthogonal. I've read perspectives that you feel like it's actually not achievable with the modern data stack, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe, but my belief is that mesh is a set of concepts that need to be pulled through all of our products, and it's a little bit like okay, so in 2016 when I wrote the DBT viewpoint, it was a very unusual idea that every analytical product that you worked with needed to have a concept of environments. It's like kind of, and still, 7 years in, many products do not still have that concept, and that actually is really can make it challenging to uh, take a concept as simple as like having a dev and test and prod environment, like, and pulling that all the way through your workflow. It's really challenging when a product doesn't have that. And I think that in the same way, all of our products today will have to have a simple set of constructs, and we're very focused on doing that today with DBT. Teresa, before you said, you know, the magic word that I use internally a lot is microservices. Um, I don't know that the comparison between mesh and microservices is perfect, but I think that there are a lot of it's a way that you can really reuse a lot of thinking in this new context, and microservices require cleanly defined interfaces that you can test and validate, and that other people from around the organization know how to call and well documented. And that I think is going to, like, whether you're talking about the ingestion layer or the transformation layer or the BI layer, like all of these layers are going to have to understand that different people throughout the organization, different teams are going to be producing these data products, and that sometimes your team is going to be doing both the transformation and the analytics on top of that. But sometimes you're going to be depending on uh, data transformation produced by a different part of a different team in the business. And how do you make sure that that doesn't break? And how stable are these interfaces? How can I validate that these interfaces are stable? I think these are the building blocks that a mature mesh will get built out of. And I think that if all of our products are going to be relevant in that world, we're going to n- need to live up to those expectations. But it will be an interesting challenge for all of us sitting here. Is that if you have, rather than thinking in these like kind of big monolithic pipelines, you say like, okay, each of these teams is going to be producing data as a product. Um, that means that all of our products are going to need to get more and more tightly integrated. There's going to be lots of the instances of them being all used together. And I think that's a real challenge for us to like work together to like make that happen.
I totally agree. Yeah, and just to add to that, I agree that sort of the data mesh and data products are sort of orthogonal, but maybe the one thing that is common to them is sort of the need to break down silos. I think that's exactly what you're saying, Tristan. I think if you think about an example of a data product like an airline flight tracker that basically combines like real time GPS data together with specific passenger information together with historical arrival and departure information and actually like, you know, results with something that many different people interact with on a daily basis. That requires a different approach to how we've been building so far. I think data mesh is one way to enable that, for sure. I think the other thing to consider here is how do you actually enforce sort of standards across those in a data mesh? And I think oftentimes when data mesh implementations or data product implementations fail, it's because of that. It's because of the lack of the ability to overcome the silos and to get sort of the, organizational DNA and energy to make that happen. And to keep that going over a sustained period of time. Sometimes it's like bursts of energy and we cross a couple of silos. and have something going, but then it sort of fades away. And I think the trick is, or sort of the question that we're facing in this industry is, how do we get that initial momentum, but then keep it going organizationally so we can actually reap the rewards, both from the data products and data mesh, whatever sort of initiative du jour.